Right, hello everyone. Just give it a few seconds here to get going. Can everybody hear me? Looks like my audio is working, so, okay. All right, so today what we're gonna be talking about is like some lead generation tactics. In this case, it's gonna be using Facebook lead ads and with RPR lead magnets. So basically like well, here, let's get into it, but a lead magnet would be some sort of a promotional piece that you're gonna provide. So, oops. So basically a lead ad on Facebook is gonna be similar to, like sending somebody to a landing page. So instead of sending them to some sort of, page of getting them away from Facebook, then this way they'll be able to create the, fill out their information right within Facebook so they don't have to leave. And what a nice feature is that Facebook already has like your email address and, potentially your phone number and some sort of that information. So like I said, it's used for lead generation and, sorry, I gotta let people in here. So in this case, we're gonna be talking about something that's gonna be similar to like, kind of like a what's my home worth, but you can use this sort of thing for all different types of requests or different like lead magnets, like I said, that you can use for, to get people to sign up for something. And we're gonna talk more about lead magnets in a second, but basically that's the gist of it, is that these are ads on Facebook that you are gonna kind of entice people with some sort of tool that or gift or something you want to call a special offer that you're going to give them in order for them to submit their information. Okay. So one thing that Facebook has done, and since about the end of last year, they added what's called the special ad category. So the special ad category is something that you're going to have to select when creating your ad, and we'll talk more about this and once we get to it. But I just wanted to mention that because it's something that I've seen a number of agents kind of skip over when doing this, creating an ad in Facebook. So this way, I just want to highlight it so you remember it, so you'll look out for it. And we're going to go through it when we go to create the ad. But I just wanted to highlight it again. And basically, what it does is it restricts your ability to target. So you're not able to target based off of age, gender, ethnicity, or income. And then it basically locks you out of searching from anywhere under 15 miles around a particular address or city. And you're also not able to, sorry, I'm trying to let people in on their own here. Enable waiting, there we go. So you can't use zip codes anymore. So before you'd be able to target just people in a zip code, but now it's going to be 15 miles around like a city, or you could put a exact address in, but it's also gonna, keep you from going within that 15-mile radius around that target area. Okay. And then a number of special interests has been removed, which we'll talk about that later. You don't really necessarily want to use the special interest anymore, and I'll get more into that later. And then you can use lookalike audience. I'm sorry, you can use a custom audience, which a custom audience, if you've attended some of my previous classes on custom audiences, that's where you could like upload your own database. So if you have a list of 500 people in your database or however many people, you can upload that into Facebook, and then it will then target your ads to those specific people, assuming they're on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, but they did limit or lock out the lookalike audiences. So lookalike audience would be, say you uploaded your custom audience of your database, and then you created a lookalike based off of the characteristics of those people that you, of your custom audience that you uploaded. So you're not able to do that anymore. Basically, you can't make like a lookalike is what they call it, audience based off of your existing custom audience. So, but if you don't even know what I'm talking about, then don't worry about it, but that's not available any longer as well. Okay, so the lead magnets. So lead magnets, we're gonna be talking about, like a kind of like a a property report for a specific property today, but you could do it for, maybe you wanted to do an ad around Santa Clarita and just do a generic like market activity report kind of ad, where then, they could put their address in and you could just give them a market report around whatever area that they're looking for, or a neighborhood report, school report, seller report with a CMA, or property report. Those are all going to be ones that are available that you can do within the RPR, which I'll be showing you here later. But you can also do other sorts of different reports. We do have like the 2020 guide, home seller guide, a buyer guide. Those are on Prime Agent that you can use. I believe Beth, or if you get a hold of Beth or Samantha, they can customize those for you as well. You could do all sorts of different little little articles, or how to increase curb appeal. But these are things that, you'd have to have that you could provide to them. So, so just so you know, we can help you with, pretty much any of these. You can get for new listings, that sort of thing. If people are looking to buy in a certain area, you can even create a lead ad for those as well. So, but like I said, we're gonna be talking about, more kind of like a home value type ad here today. So like if you're a buyer's agent, you'd be able to use these reports. And here's just a generic, example here that I provided in the email that I sent out. So all of you already seen this, but excuse me, I just included it because I'll share out this, the slide package with you after the meeting with the recording. So I just wanted to include that as well. But, you can tweak it, basically, getting people's attention in order to, with, a price, some homes under 500K for first-time home buyers. And I use this example because there are some targeting features within the Facebook ad where you can target like first-time home buyers. I know I know a lot of you guys don't do that, but I just wanted to show you because they do have some of those abilities, and I wanted to kind of highlight some of the pros and cons of using the targeted characteristics later. So we'll talk about that later. But here's some examples, and then for like a listing agent, like basically how is the market affecting your value in 2020, and so that's what we're going to be kind of showing you later, is something along these lines for like a home value. And they do offer this realtor valuation model in RPR, which I'll kind of touch on when we get to that point as well. All right, so I have all of these steps inside this whole presentation. We can follow through with it in the presentation, but I thought I'd just go right to Facebook and do it. So does anybody have a preference? Do you want to go through the slides, or do you want to go into Facebook? Want to chat or unmute yourself, or anybody have an opinion on that? Otherwise, I'm just going to go to Facebook and do it. But just so you know, all the steps will be in here that you can follow along with, and I'll upload this before we leave that you can download, or I can put it in here right now. I'll share it with you right now in the chat, where you can download it if you wanted as well. So that is uploading, and you should be able to download the PDF of all of these slides. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of here. And go over to Facebook. Hold on, let me get the chat back up. All right. So I just want to go to Facebook here really fast to show you. There are a couple different ways that you can go. You can go to this drop down, go to the manage ads, but I'm going to show you here to create an ad. So we're going to go to the create, and then you can go to create ad. And actually, I already have this started over here. Let me see if it brings me over, because I have personal and different types of accounts in here, which is the wrong one. But basically, what you do is you just select lead generation, okay? But I'm going to go over to this one I already started. And here we'd have that lead generation. But one of the things that you'd want to do if you're following along when you create the ad is you can name it. So I have in my example there some names that you can use, but you can name it however you want. I just kind of gave you some examples for just, So it's kind of the way that I name things, but it's up to you. So you just name that stuff, or you can name it later, but that just gives you this optional ability to name them right from here. Okay, so let's go back into here. So then once you name them, it brings you right to this page. So here's like my naming. So I have a lead ad for home value, August 2020. So that's what I named the campaign. And this was that special ad categories I was talking about earlier. You're going to turn this on, okay? You're going to need to make sure that's on, and then you're going to select the housing. Otherwise, your ad will not be approved. I mean, there might be some wiggle room in there because if you're doing it from, depends on what your page is named, but for like realty executives, like something like that, we have like realty in our name where Facebook's going to flag that instantly. So if you have like realtor, but basically just follow the best practices, which is declaring that it's a housing ad. There is different buying here, but we're going to do auction. That's the best one for this lead generation. So we're going to leave this stuff as is. We're going to scroll down. There's this A/B testing, which isn't going to apply to us in this case, but basically A/B testing is you want to have like two separate ads running against each other to see, you know, say maybe you put an image, different images in the ad, or had different text for each ad, and you were testing it out to see which image worked better or what text was working better. You can run like an A/B test. So like campaign A versus campaign B, see which one performs better. And then that way you will know, you know, what works best and to continue on in the future, maybe going in this direction rather than going in this direction, okay? So that's A/B testing. So campaign budget optimization. This is going to be, you do have the option to do it by daily budget or lifetime budget. I recommend, and actually Facebook also, you know, I've met with the whole marketing team and everything at Facebook about, you know, like setting up ads and, you know, especially for real estate. And you get the best budget optimization if you're going to run the lifetime budget. So even if you plan on doing it for a week or 2 weeks or however long you want to run it for, and it was going to be, you know, you're going to spend $5, $10, $3, whatever is going to be per day, you just multiply that out and then get kind of like your lifetime budget. Because basically how it works is like, if you put $5 a day or $10 a day, Facebook's going to spend that money no matter what. So, but maybe there's not a lot of people on that day, or, you know, something's there, whatever the case may be, it's going to spend that money regardless, whether it's going to the best group of people or the worst group of people, it's going to spend that money. Where if you have the lifetime budget, it's going to ramp up your spending at first to get it out to more people, and then it's going to fluctuate around in order to get to the best people on Facebook to get the best results for what you're trying to do. And it took a while for me to, you know, get behind that, but after seeing the results, it's clear that lifetime budget, in my opinion, and even Facebook will recommend this as well, to go with that lifetime budget, because their algorithm will adjust your ad spend based on the engagement of your ad with the people that are on Facebook at the time. So, okay. So there you go. Now we're going to go next, and this is going to get us over to our ad set. So I just named the ad set Santa Clarita 2020, and ad set is going to be kind of who you're targeting. So let's take a look at this. So basically we're going to select what page we want it to be. And then we're going to go to when we want it to, so let's just go. That was behind in the past, so it wouldn't let me do this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for 2 weeks. I had that $50 ad spend. So that's, you know, however many dollars per day that's gonna be. But that basically 2 weeks for $50 for this is like a home valuation. So if it was like for a specific listing or something like that, we might not do something like this for 2 weeks. Or if it, depending on what the ad was, but for something like this, you're gonna let it sit out there for a while. Maybe 2 weeks is a little bit long, but for the purposes of this, we're just gonna go with 2 weeks. And then that way, it'll spend that $50 of the 2 weeks, which is a little bit on the low side. recommend, depending on, what you're trying to do, you can get away with something if you're just running like an ad like to that custom audience of your own people in your database, then you can get away with maybe running something for $1 per day, because you don't want to be just every second they're on Facebook, they see you, because depending on how big your audience size is. But with something like this, is going to go out to, right now we're at, well, I narrowed it down to Santa Clarita plus 15 miles, but we're at 990,000 people as it is. But Facebook does, in what I wanted to get into here, so we're going to set that for the 2 weeks, and now we're going to go to our audience. And this is where I'm going to kind of talk about what I was saying about that detailed targeting, and how this is a high number. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's in the, the middle there. But Facebook, what it does is, I'm sure you've heard of the Facebook Pixel. Basically, what it's doing is it's tracking people's movement around the internet and what websites they're looking at. And obviously, they know what you're clicking on in Facebook. So if people are, potential viewers of your ad are consuming real estate websites, and then they're being tracked going to Zillows and Realtor.coms and these different places, and then now they're engaging with other real estate things on Facebook pages and whatnot. Facebook knows all that stuff. I mean, it's creepy, yes, but they know exactly where you're at and what you're doing online, and that's how they're targeting ads to you. So basically, it's in your best interest to some degree to just leave the algorithm alone and let it work for you. Because if you start trying to change different things by going into this detailed targeting, like I have in my example, or in my, where is it at here? Let me scroll past here a little bit. So detailed targeting, do not use like Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia. It's not to your advantage, even though it may be, that might sound counterintuitive, but because Facebook already knows that these people are going there. So now you're kind of limiting your reach, because it's, you can add these in. So that's going to be only people that go to those websites, but maybe they go consume, they're not looking at those websites. They're just looking on Facebook all the time for real estate, So you're going to be limiting yourself to those people, to only those people who go to those 3 websites. So those I would not touch. But like if you're going to be doing, like I mentioned earlier, like I have the asterisk here, they're good to some degree, but don't be using them all the time unless you're really going to be, if you are targeting first-time home buyers and you want to use first-time home buyer grant, those types of things, then yes. If you are going after for sale by owner people, then yes. But I mean, if you're just putting these in randomly because you think house hunting, but that if you just put house hunting in, then it's only going to be people that are included in that group will be targeted. So it's going to limit yourself, and you don't want to limit yourself because Facebook knows about what these people are doing than you do, right? So like I said, in some cases, if your ad is targeted at first-time home buyers, then yes, go ahead and use that because that's who you're targeting. But if you're just putting these in just because you think they're going to help, don't do it. Facebook's going to know way more about what these people are doing online than you're going to be guessing at. So just leave the algorithm alone and don't put any additional targeting in is basically my point here. Leave that alone unless you're going into some sort of real niche. Okay, so this locations, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be 15 miles plus no matter what area you're selected. So that is a big change from where it used to be, where you could target within 1 mile of a certain address, but those days are gone. So now we just got to work with what we have, and that's 15 miles minimum. And of course you can go up to 50 miles. So it's going to be, whatever your ad is geared towards, that's going to, you'll adjust this based off of, what you're trying to do. But just so you know, it's 15 miles minimum. And then they did add a new option here. So usually we do people living in the location, because especially for this, you want to do home value. So you want people living in that location, but they added the people living in or currently or recently in this location. So, I mean, in some cases that might apply, you know, especially if you have people who maybe travel for work, you know, in and out of the location. So, and then people who live in locations. So sometimes this might work for you, but in general, especially for, you know, like maybe the home valuation, you want people who are living in this location is going to kind of work the best for you there. We're going to skip down here. And then we just leave this automatic placements alone. There is some advantage to doing the manual depending on what you're doing, but in this case, we're not going to play with it. But maybe sometimes, maybe you wanted to do just an ad on Instagram, or, which I mean, you could do on Instagram, but you could do it from here as well. Or maybe you wanted to do just like only an ad that was for stories, you know, so that's where you'd go through the manual placements and adjust what you want, where you want your ad to be. But we're just going to go with the automatic, which is going to get your ad in the best place at the best time. And then this optimization for ad, really, this we're not going to mess with for the leads. It doesn't really apply, so we're just going to skip over this, and then we're going to go to next, to the final step of where we just put your ad in of the actual ad, like the visual, you know, imagery and the text and stuff. Okay, so we started off with pick what kind of ad we were doing, how much we're going to be spending on it, and then we went to who we're targeting, and now what we're going to be targeting, what ad we're going to be showing them is this part. Okay, so we by default it's should have, you know, the page that we selected, you know, especially if you only have one page, it's going to be there. And then you have the ability, if you do have an Instagram account, where you can connect to your Instagram. All right, so then that way this ad will run on Instagram, and then it'll be tagged to your actual Instagram account. Okay, so for this case, we're going to do just a single image. And then I already created this image, which is just a general thing. But, you know, if you wanted, I just made this in Canva, so we can customize something. If you wanted your own photo in there, just let me know, and we can make something up for you. But otherwise, you know, you just take whatever kind of visually appealing image, you know, depending on, you don't have to have text in it, but you can have text, but you're limited to only like 20% text. So you don't want like a big image that's all it is text, because then your ad won't be approved. But, you know, just something that'll kind of get their attention. It could be the front of a house, could be the, you know, this with like a kind of the valley picture, could be, you know, maybe depending on what you're doing, could be, if it's going to be a home buyer guide, it could be, you know, the front of the home buyer guide or the home seller guide. So it just depends on what you're doing here for what you're going to use. But in this case, for the home value, I just kind of put general look over the valley, and then, you know, for the agent, you could put your photo in there and has your home value changed in 2020, so some sort of attention getter. So basically what you do is you'd select, let me just clear this. So you just go to upload your image. Let me just clear that out here really fast. So you would see this add image. We just go add image, hit upload, and then you'd select it from your computer. Okay, I already have it here, so I'm just going to go ahead and insert it. And you could do that with a video. It doesn't have to be a still image. If you had some sort of video you wanted to use back there, you could use that as well. So it's going to be kind of what you want to use, but in this case, the image works good. Text to edit, so we're going to leave this alone. So I have in that slide presentation that I sent you all of this text, so you could just copy it from that PDF if you, or you know, whatever you want to do. But so in the primary text is going to be the text that you see up at the top of your ad. So in this case, put the 2020 real estate market is changing quickly. See how that's impacting the value of your home. Tap learn more to find out. So, and maybe you want to throw in like an emoji or something in there, you know, to give a, let's see, do we have like a house? Yeah, there we go. Something like that, maybe, or whatever. The emojis tend to slow people down. They want to see what the text, what's the emoji related to, and it kind of slows them down while they're scrolling through the news feed. So that's, you know, something you could do. Headline is going to be the text that's down here in the gray. So it has my home value change 2020, and then you could put an optional description. On mobile in a lot of areas, the description is not going to be seen. It's really only on like the desktop view. So that's optional. The display link is also optional. We're not sending them anywhere really, but I just put that in just as an optional thing. And then you select the learn more, okay? But it's going to be for, you know, different cases. You know, maybe you wanted to do, you know, you're going to have something where they can just download it instead of, you know, going, in this case, we're going to have them submit their property address. So we don't have something that they could download right away because we don't know what their property address is yet. But in some cases, you know, if it was going to be like that home buyer guide or home seller guide, you could just have it where it downloads the home seller guide or buyer guide directly. So then you don't have to necessarily follow up with them just to email them the guide. You know, you could follow up with another way, you know, but you know, that guide they would get pretty much, you know, within seconds rather than have to wait for you to get the email and then send it to them. So depending on what you're doing, those call to actions are going to change. So we're going to use this instant form, okay? But you could do, like, say you want to do a chat, you would be able to do, you know, some sort of automated chat where you could create, you know, like a chat bot that you'd have to kind of build out a little bit. But we're going to use the instant form. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go. Can I edit this form here? Let's see. Otherwise, I'll just create a new one. Oh, here we go. All right. So you would go and create a new form. But in this case, I'm just going to, let me get rid of that here. So you do create lead form. I'm going to go ahead and just show you this one that's already created here. Oops. Oh, no, sorry. I did new one. Let me go. There we go. All right. So I already have all the settings in here, but so you could follow along. I'm just going to do like home value. You name it. So in this case, I'm going to do a home value one. And then we're going to do the more volume in this case, but you could do a higher intent, which is going to have like a review screen. But in this case, we're just going to go for the more volume, but that's going to be up to you. Basically, if you see that, it just adds this review screen, which will basically make them kind of opt in twice, more or less. You know, it's kind of like a double opt in to make sure that they're really, really sure they want to submit their information. But for this case, we're going to do more volume. So your intro, I have, you know, how's my home value changed in 2020? There's a headline. And like I said, all of this text is going to be contained inside of that PDF that I shared with you already. So you could use the image that's already from your ad. I just uploaded a different, you know, with it cropped already because with that photo of the person, it just kind of got in the way a little bit. So I just did it, resized it a little bit, but that's going to be up to you what you want to display here. And then have the paragraph below that just says get a digital copy of estimated value of your home, plus details about home selling in your neighborhood. So, and you could do like bullets or different things in here. For this case, the paragraph works fine. Oops. Sorry. All right. So now we're going to go to the questions. So questions, it's going to have default already in the name, email, and full name. So I'm going to get rid of these really fast and show you how to add them. So we're just going to put like a little information up here just so we know, and this is going to be included inside that PDF as well. You know, it just needs to know like what you're going to do with that information. So it's like, we'll use this use these contact details to send you a digital property report. So we're just letting them know what they're going to get when they put in their information. And that's going to obviously change depending on what you're going to be sharing with them. You could add a custom question here, but that's going to be more like for something that that's not available within pre-built in Facebook. So we're going to skip over that. We're just going to go down to this add category because it already has the ability to add a street address. So under this add category, contact fields, street address, we're going to select that. And then that's going to go in and add the street address. And then we're going to also add zip code. So we're going to go scroll here to zip code. So now it's going to request the information. So it should pull in their email and full name automatically. And then they'll have to enter their street address and zip code. Okay. And then, like I said, there are other questions, you could use here for, but I don't know that you necessarily need these. But you could also, with this add question, this might be a good way, like if you have a multiple choice or something where you want to do you have an agent already, like where you can have them say yes or no, or how soon are you looking to sell or buy or whatever. So you can create those questions in as well if you wanted to. That's just an optional thing that you can do. But for this case, that's all what we're going to use. We're going to keep it down to the minimum information that you'll need to get them this property report. But like I said, you add like a phone number and stuff in here as well. We're just, for this example, this is what we're going to do. Okay. So the one section that's going to probably get you guys a little bit confused is, or just because you don't have anything ready, is this privacy policy. So it does require to have some sort of privacy policy. So if you do not have one on your website, which could be recommended, depending on what kind of information you gather from your website, because if people can sign up on your website, and with that new California rule that went into effect, at the beginning of the year with the whole privacy, how giving people the ability to, access or delete their data from people's websites. I know there's rules on how big a company technically is and how much money or how many employees it has in order for it to. So there is some gray area there whether you really need one or not. But we do have this one on our website. So if you don't have anything else, you could go, and I have it. I think did I already close the page? Yeah, so if I just go to our Realty Executives website, this is realtyexecutives-scv. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's this privacy policy, which you can just grab that link here, okay? Which I need to update. It's from 2016, but it does cover, at least which I'm sure is going to be similar to you. You're not selling their data. You just get, like their email and phone number if they create an account, to search for properties or to get, so I mean, it's going to be very similar to what your website would include. So you really could just copy this and change, that information, like with a website and stuff like that. And if you wanted to add it to your website, but there is a new one that I'm working on that includes some of the most current stipulations in the new California bill that they passed. But like I said, you could just grab that from our website and put that in there if you don't have anything, okay? And you could add a custom disclaimer. So if I know, so some of you guys put in, if you're currently working with another agent, blah, blah, blah. So you could do something like that if you wanted. So that's all done. And now we just have our completion. So also, once again, this text will be in that PDF that I shared with you. So you can just like copy and paste it if you wanted, but it's just going to say success. Your report will be emailed to you shortly. Good news, we received your request and we'll be creating your customized property report. Check your inbox within an hour. Okay. And then opted just to do like call business. So this button down here, you could send them to a website or something like that. But in this case, I think for you guys, it'd probably be best to do like, just have a button to call you. So questions about your home value, and has the little phone icon. So they know it's a phone number, a call button, and then that way they'd be able to, call you right from within this ad. So now that we have that form done, we just finish and we're all set. Oops. What did I have? Error intro. Oh, my paragraph deleted. Let me see where I have that here. Hold on one sec, let me find. Oh, that's the, there it is. All right, so let me paste that back in and then finish. And now we are basically done. There is that pixel tracking. If you have pixel, like I mentioned earlier, where your website, we're not sending anybody to our website, so this really doesn't necessarily apply to us right now, but you could use the pixel tracking on it if you have it already on your website, but in general, we're not sending anybody to our website, so it's not gonna necessarily apply here. And then we just hit publish. I'm not gonna hit publish because this isn't, an actual ad we want out, on our Facebook thing, for the company. But just so you know, all you hit publish. Once you publish, it's gonna maybe take, it has been running slower. It has been about, I don't know. Sometimes it'll be within 15 minutes you have your ad approved, but then other times it's been up to like 24 hours or more. You should see your thing either approved by then, or if it has some sort of problem, they'll let you know what it is. But usually, if you follow all these steps the way that we did it, you shouldn't have any problem getting it approved. It should go ahead and get through. Okay. So now, now that you have those done, your leads will come through, and let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and close this off. If you would be able to connect this sort of thing to the Prime Agent or to like a Lion Desk to your CRM, where the leads would automatically just come through. I can share out, previous videos I've done on that. Okay. But otherwise, you should get your notifications and they'd be available within your publishing tools. All right, everyone, I just want to break in here for a second and show you exactly where you go to get to the publishing tools for your page. So you'll go to the Facebook page that you've created the ad for. And then if you don't see publishing tools up in this top bar, you're going to click on more and then select publishing tools. Once this loads, you'll scroll down a little bit and go to the lead ad forms library. And then you'll see all of your forms that you've created. If you haven't created any other forms, then you should just see that one single form you created, but otherwise you'll have your list of forms here. This is the one, home value 2, that we created in the video. So this would be where your leads. So here's like lead count. There's 1. So you'd be able to download those right from here. Otherwise, you get your notification, and then you can also connect it to a CRM. So I will connect the videos down below in this email that show you how to connect this CRM to the Facebook lead forms to your CRM, whether you have a Prime Agent CRM or a Lion Desk CRM. So now let's just say you get a lead that comes in and then you need to do the report, okay? RPR is narrpr.com, and it's available to you within the MLS. So when you log into the MLS, you'll see an RPR button, right there once you sign in, and it gives you all those boxes and squares to click on to go to the MLS. There's gonna be an RPR button, and it's a free tool provided by National Association of Realtors. So from there, you can just create your free account. It just uses your NARD's email address. So once you have that, and then it has an application, which the app is a great app, which you can use the app to do this stuff. So if you're out on about, and you get this lead that comes through and you wanted to, do it right from your phone, this whole process, you can do the exact same thing from your phone. I'm just going to do it here just since we're already sharing this screen. And whoops, we'll go. So I'm just going to put in this address. So you got this lead. We're going to go to all properties, because all properties are going to be see how it's got like 159 million properties? That is like pretty much all the properties around the country. So we want all properties, because this one isn't necessarily going to be for sale. Or it could be, we'll find that out, assuming, if they sent in a request with it was already for sale, you'd see it pop up for sale in here. but otherwise we're just going to assume that it's a non for sale property. Okay, so that RVM, oh, list price. Oh, it is for sale, is it? Oh, duh. Okay, well, I thought I had one that was not for sale. I guess I skipped, sorry. So yeah, see, if it's for sale, it'll show you for sale. There's the list price right there. So let me go back. Recently viewed, here, off market, there we go. All right, here we are. So this is our property. They submitted this address. We have this ability to refine this value. So we have this RVM, which is called like a realtor valuation model. So realtor valuation model is the way they name it here in RPR. So you'd be able to go refine this. So, you know, you could, you don't really know any of their home improvements, but, you know, by local market conditions, if you were able to kind of, from the picture in here, tell what it looked like from the outside, which you can't really tell, but you could do lot size, you know, based on, you're familiar with the area, you know, that's a bigger lot compared to the other properties. You can adjust that, you know, say it's a little bit bigger, you know, maybe this one has a view, you know, it doesn't have as much privacy though. And, you know, but this is a good hot area. And then you can refine that value down, which it jumped it up 26,000, which, I mean, you guys are the experts at this. So that might be too much or not enough or whatever, but assuming, let's just say that it is, you just hit apply changes, and then that's going to go ahead and update that report. So if we go back to our summary, we'll have our RVM versus our refined value. Okay, so we can go ahead, and I mean, this is just all up to, you know, I'm just playing around here, so this may be way off here, but just bear with me. You don't have to do a comp. I mean, you theoretically could, but what we're going to do here is just run the report. So assuming you got, you know your areas that, you know, you looked at, you know what's going on in the area. So you refine this down to where you really think it's going to be at, and then you could run that report. Okay. So we're going to do just a report, and you can do either like a property report, a seller report. We're going to do like a seller report, because that's going to give some like comps or other properties in the area that are, you know, that will kind of, you know, show what's going on in that market area, basically. So it's going to be, you know, here's some of the things. If we do this, show more details, it's going to give us probably too much information, but you can unselect or select whatever you want to be in there. You know, in this case, you're not going to be presenting this as like a listing presentation where you have to go through each one of these. You're going to be just emailing this right to that potential client. So, you know, maybe you want to include everything in here. That's going to be up to you. But that's just so you know, by this show more details, hide details, it's going to be where you can select or unselect all these different pages. Okay. And then you could also create custom pages. So if you have like custom pages that you want to be included into your all of your RPR reports, you'd be able to, you know, upload those custom pages as well. Because basically it's going to come with these, you know, with all the elements. So it's going to include your, you know, you could select or unselect from this cover page what's going to be on there, but you can also include custom pages. So maybe you have reviews or certain things that you want to include in there that you're able to just get those custom pages in all your reports that you're going to be sharing off to these people. Okay. So now that we have our stuff selected that we want, you can personalize it. So if you have their name, you can personalize it. You could do that if you wanted, or and then you have their email address from that form. So you would just be able to put in their email address. Let me just put in. So I'm just going to put it in like my email, and then you can CC to yourself if you want or not. That's going to be selected by default. That's going to be up to you. And then what you'll be able to do, let's just go. So let's go like Richard Neville. Thank you for your interest. Blah, blah, blah. Whoops. And then whatever you wanted to say there. and then hit run report, and then that's going to automatically send this report with your little personalized text here right to the email address you included. Okay, so we hit run report. Boom. So it takes a couple minutes, but this way it will pop up and you'll have it in your little reports thing here. So it's being generated now, but it's going to automatically share it out right to the email address you included. So now you have some sort of process here where you can run an ad on Facebook. Whoops, get rid of this tab here, it's confusing me. So you have your ad here. Let's take a look at it again. So we have this ad that'll run out. When somebody clicks learn more, it's going to go through and take them. Actually, let's do a preview. Let's see. So here we go. And basically what it's going to do is once they click on it, it's going to, say this, how's my home value change, get a digital report. Once they click next, it's going to go ahead. They're going to submit their information. Well, should pull in automatically whatever their email address is in Facebook, whatever their name is in Facebook. And then they will have to submit their their address, street address, and zip code. Once they hit next, they'll have the little privacy policy page, which once again, you can get that link right from our website if you don't have anything on your website already. And then it's going to go ahead and say success, email your report shortly, blah, 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 blah. And then it gives them that additional option to call you directly from this ad. Okay. So now, somebody submits their information, you get the lead, and then you could come over to RPR. Whoops, what happened there? And then you'd be able to get you have their address. Let's just pretend this is the address again. So we come to our RPR account and all properties, we can just put in our address, search. You could refine that value if you think that it needs to be refined, and then create that report. So you can do the seller report, and it has all these different reports. So this is where I mentioned with those different lead magnets. So you'd be able to do like the school report, neighborhood report, market activity report, the property report, seller report. There's all these different reports that you can generate right from here based off of an area. So if you wanted to do, the summit of Valencia or something like that, you'd be able to do, like a neighborhood report or a market activity report just on that immediate area. Or in this case, like we're doing a seller report on a specific address. So now that you have that information in, you can personalize that report, send it to your new your new lead, click run report. They're going to get that email right to them. Okay, so let me see if we have it in here. I don't know if it came through yet. Yeah, here we go. So then we have our report, seller report, then it has the picture of the property, my information, download report, and they'll be able to just download that report right to their computer. And then here is, and this has all the information. So, so it's probably gonna be pretty long. Yeah, 73 pages. So that's a little bit overkill. Not a little bit, probably a lot, but so that's a full report, but it kind of goes through, shows them property history, all sorts of different information here, which you can go through, maybe do this one on your own home or do it on an example property so you can kind of see what's in it, and then maybe see if you think, what do you think you don't need or what you think you need, and then that way you can kind of customize those when you're in this more details. You'd be able to just unselect or select whatever you think is necessary for one of those reports. Okay. If you guys don't have any questions, then I think we're all set. Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff? And once again, I've shared that my whole the presentation on for the whole Facebook lead thing on the little chat box, so you can download that. And then I will be sharing out the video of this, as well as I'll give you some additional, like some PDFs or quick guides on some of the RPR reports as well. Okay. I don't see anything here. You're welcome, Marianne. Thank you. All right, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up then. I appreciate everybody, taking the time to join me here today. And if you have any questions, need any help getting this stuff started, let me know. If you need any, this custom, the imagery or whatever for your ads, if you need something like that, whatever you need, we're here to help you. So I can do a Zoom one-on-one with you. So if you, in my email signature, there's going to be the schedule a Zoom meeting or schedule a meeting. Could be a Zoom meeting where we can kind of work on this together. If you need some additional, help getting going or whatever you need. So I'm always here for you guys, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you, Carlo. And whoops, I appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye now.